ATL.
Damn, Brandy, you ain't got to be so loud. So damn loud in this little ass room. Anyway, okay.
This is your weekly podcast covering sex, love, dating, and issues in the world from a group of people living in Atlanta. Co-hosting for this episode is your boy Brandon.
Not LaKenya and not Savoy, but Avery West. We have 3 segments for our show. What That Mouth Do, our segment where we discuss sex-related topics, love and situationships where we talk about dating and sometimes the lack of dating.
Come on.
Followed by a topic of the day segment where we talk about any hot button issue or just any issue from today's media.
If you'd like to follow along with the conversations had in this episode of the podcast on social media, you can do so by using the hashtag #ThePanelATL so we can see it, and pod in so others can see it.
So that's hashtag #ThePanelATL, hashtag whatever. Hashtag whatever. So that's hashtag #ThePanelATL and hashtag pod-in. And let's jump into the show.
Okay.
So where have you been, Brandon? Because I've not seen you in like forever.
Y'all ain't putting me on the schedule. So I've been at work getting to this check, but I ain't got nothing to show for it. Because that money disappeared like, ooh, there it is. Go.
You must got an escort that you supply.
Child, what is love?
I can't. Oh, I had this really great question that I wanted to ask. You get your hair cut like by like a shop, like a barber, right? Mm-hmm. So you go in. How do you act when you go into the shop?
I don't.
What you do?
I put my headphones in. I listen to my music, or I watch YouTube. That's it. But the guys know me my whole life, so he know what's tea.
So you know all about Santana.
Oh no, he don't know that much tea. It's your old school black barber shop. You don't get the whole story. But I just go in there. I be chilling. I don't bother nobody bother me.
I asked that because I realized that like today I have like this secret anxiety of going to barbershops.
But why?
Because it's just like it's like a breeding ground of like men and like hormones and like judgment. So it's just like for me, it's just like I go in there like you say, like I go in there like quiet. I say to myself. But first I went to a new shop because I was trying to get my car serviced. So I went to this place on High Mill, and first of all, shit was $25 for a haircut.
You got a beard. Why was it $25?
Bitch, I didn't know till I was sitting in the chair and I read the fucking board. But I was like, bitch, I'm used to paying like $15, $18, tipping $2, $3. You know. But I was like $25 fucking dollars for a haircut. Bitch, I don't have any hair. Like, there's no technique needed to shave off a beard and line up, like to shave off a head and line up a beard. But anyway. So I support black businesses and whatever you tell me your prices is. Mm-hmm. I said I wouldn't go back, but this was like the first time I actually had a conversation in a barbershop with like people in the barbershop.
How'd that go?
It was great. It wasn't your usual conversation. It wasn't about bitches, whores, pussy, sex, Jordans.
Football, basketball.
Yes, it was not. It was actually about
cricket.
It was actually about, we were talking how like people rob people's houses. Mm-hmm. Well, actually it came on because this man who tried to rob a Starbucks got beat up by a customer in the shop and then got stabbed. So now he's suing the customer because the customer assaulted him. And we was discussing. What's going on?
We was
disgusted and discussing.
All right, come on.
How the hell, like, you could be robbing a store and then try to sue them, and like just a whole other conversation started popping up.
So he's suing the store.
No, he is suing the customer that beat his ass, and then the man had either a knife or a gun or something. The man robbing the store had a gun. The customer had a knife. So the customer was literally beating his ass. This white man was beating his ass. And then I guess somehow ended up stabbing him. So now the man who was robbing the store is actually about to sue. He's suing the customer.
Do they know that he was trying to rob the store?
Yes, bitch.
And they see...
Girl, and then they was talking about how a man was robbing these people's house, and he actually fell through the skyline, and then he sued the homeowner. I don't even want to say this word wrong. I ain't even gonna say it. But he sued the homeowner because lack of like keeping maintenance on their house because he fell through trying to rob them.
You can't sue me for trying to break in my shit and you get hurt. The fuck you suing me for?
I mean, that man won the case, so I'm finna go start climbing on people's houses.
How the fuck he?
I'm about to start following my big ass through people's houses. Cause these bitches out here getting checks and I need a good check. And if all it takes is me falling through somebody's roof.
Bitch, I got dreams. I ain't falling through nobody's roof. I hurt my back and then that's a wrap. I can't do nothing else the rest of my life. I'm done.
Bitch, you could be on the stage with a wheelchair.
Got me fucked up.
With the look.
I can't dance no more.
Looking like Timmy. The coffee is setting in already.
I see what your crazy ass.
Anyway, I just wanted to bring that. I wonder, do like other people feel that way about the barbershop? Honestly, that's really why I don't go to barbershop. They get too damn high for one, and for two, it's just the inner conversations that be in there. I just be like, ugh.
The one I go to, because I've been going there my whole life. Well, not that particular shop, but I've been that guy's been cutting my hair since I was 2, 3 in that range. But like I go in there and speak to him. Don't really talk to anybody else. So they talk about that's Andre boy. I'm like, oh, hello.
Come on, Andre boy.
How you doing? So then now I'm talking about it. What we got to talk about? Got to talk about. So I move on, go about my day, get my hair cut, get him his little money. Back at actually like $15, I give him 20. Just
See.
It's family, so he ain't let you find out.
Bitch, I'm paying $25. I may go back if I want a good conversation. Most of the time, I don't want no good conversation. So I'm gonna see. But $25.
That's a rent payment for some hair. Child,
But that's Section 8 rent. What the fuck?
That's an installment on a bundle. I ain't got time for that. Child, no. That's the first payment on a bundle. Can't do it. No.
Alright, so welcome back to the show.
Yes.
Next is love and situationships. So today I want to talk about like red flags. Like, what are some red flags when you're dating? Since we're all here on this market, looking for.
We is on the market.
You gonna join in on this conversation now?
Because you're on the market too.
So go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Rachel. Hi guys. It's my first time. I'm so happy to be here.
Oh, you're a virgin.
I am a virgin.
You done popped your cherry.
Okay, with the nose.
Welcome to the show.
Thanks. Y'all gonna start it first?
No, you first. What's the red flags when you date?
Red flags for me, anger. If you can get mad at the simplest thing.
We need an example.
So
bitches get mad because the sky blue or like the waitress bought water and tea or some shit.
If we could be at a restaurant. I'm gonna bring up an example. So me and my ex.
What's his name? Don't let me instigate you to be messy.
Ain't giving that name power.
Huh?
Ain't giving that name no power.
No.
Just send the link to the show.
No, because I got a restraining order on that one. But anyway.
Oh, girl, yes, this sounds like a good red flag. Come on, tell us.
We was at IHOP, and we had a male server. He was real cute, real cute. I was looking too. I ain't gonna lie. I was looking. And he was like, you need some A1 sauce? And he kind of rubbed my hand. And my nigga said, nigga, what you doing? And I was like, babe, what you got going on? Like, what's good? Like, he was like, nah, you over there, entertaining this, da, 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 da. And I was like,
But you was.
I was, but I was trying not to.
And you was trying to get that tip.
Honey, I gave him one too. Gave him a nice little $10 tip. You're welcome, you feel me? Hopefully it went to your family. But I wasn't really just... That anger got to him. And it got worse and worse. And now... That nigga locked up.
Oh my God.
That nigga locked up. He gotta come to my house. Oh no, man. Came to my house trying to act crazy, so I had to lock his ass up.
Okay. I would say for me, a red flag that I definitely need to pay attention to, because I, like, with anybody, I feel like everybody see those red flags. They just be like, okay, like, But I would say if someone... It's gonna sound so bad, but I'm gonna say it.
Speak your truth. Go ahead.
If somebody is, I'm not throwing shade to anybody.
You is. It's okay.
Do it.
If I'm not the crazy one in a relationship or the unstable one, that it's not gonna work because two people who ain't there ain't gonna work. So if I already know, like, you popping off and then I can pop off, it ain't gonna work. So I would say it's compatible. Like, if you know literally, like, y'all can take it there to being angry at each other or just like going the fuck off, it's not gonna work. I need somebody more I need someone to chill me the fuck out.
Somebody who's not on 10 all the time.
Yeah. Or so I need someone who don't get on 10. Like, if I ever saw you...
You need a cool 6. Cool 6.
A cool 6. But I still need a nigga to turn the fuck up when it's time to turn up on somebody else.
You get on 10. That is your address. 10.
7, bitch, it is. Bitch, how did you know it's 7-10?
See, child, just, ooh, Lord.
7 to 10. See, bitch, 7 to 10. I'm on 7, and bitch, it go 10. 7 or 10.
I think I'm a good 5 to 7.
I'm a good 2 to 4.
2 to 4?
Nah, she a good 6 to 11.
I'm saying that crazy angry nigga that you just told us about.
She a good 6 to 11.
You went over there whispering to him, I need you to leave.
Nah, nigga, I was like, you better get the fuck on before you get me really started. Don't make me pull off my wig. And you better not drop it, because I'm going to beat your ass afterwards.
See? 6 to 11.
So what is a red flag for you?
For me, I got 2. Well, it's more. I have several, actually. But insecurities, if there are, like, blatant insecurities from the beginning, like, blatant, like, oh, you know, I'm not feeling my best today. And that's just one. Okay, cool. You know, we all have our moments, but then the next day it's the same shit, and then the next day and the next day.
Bitch, maybe they ain't had a haircut in 2 days.
I don't give a flying fuck. I ain't got no haircut in like a month, and I'm still cute as fuck. Can't tell me nothing. Okay? Am I together completely? Absolutely not. 9 times out of 10, I look a mess. But you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna walk in the room like I'm killing it. You feel me? I ain't got time for all that. I'm not about to let you get me. Like, that's just me. One is insecurities. Another one is absolutely no money.
If he ain't got no money,
he ain't got no money.
That's not.
No, I mean absolutely not. You're not trying to get.
Baby, that's not a red flag. That's a requirement.
But see, because you know, like when you forget enough about you, like okay, you know what you do. Oh, the people lie. You feel me?
Bitch, that's a requirement. And once I find out you have no money,
that's what I'm saying. Once you find out, I gotta go. It's just like when you see, oh, okay, I can get the movie this time. Okay, cool. Oh, dinner. Okay. Ooh, Uber. Thank you for your services. I can't. It's too much. Like it's just like I don't make a lot of money, so I can't sit and be like you gotta have buku dollars because I don't make a lot of money. But you gotta have something rolling. Like I can get you dinner. You know what I'm saying? I can get a nice little dinner.
You gotta come in the middle.
You know what I'm saying? Find a common ground. You know, I gotta call. You got somewhere to stay, or you know, I gotta call. You gotta call with me somewhere. You know, we can put some money together. Do
I got dinner. You got me too.
You know what I'm saying? It's not like little cute shit. You know what I'm saying? But if you like, baby, you got this time, right? And the next time, baby, got this one. No, I don't. I got mine. You good?
We going to Dutch?
Okay, well, they got cops on you, so I gotta go.
Okay, so we talked about those are the red flags. What do you do when you notice these red flags?
If you're stupid, you're gonna keep going. 9 times out of 10, we're gonna be stupid and keep.
Okay, let's be positive.
That's cute.
Someone who's working on themselves and getting out of situations when they see these red flags. How do you break it off with somebody? Like, do you go home after the day and say, sis, bruh,
not bruh.
Hey, hey, big head, big head. This just ain't gonna work. Like. Because I think that has always been my situation. Like, is that really a good reason to break up with somebody? Or just, like, stop dating them before you even get to break up? Like, how do you just tell somebody, like, this ain't red flags? Like,
for me, I'll give it some time just to see if this was a moment. You know what I'm saying? Like if it's still early on, I'm going to give you a moment. But if we just getting into it and then this is occurring and now it's becoming a regular thing... You know what I'm saying? But what was I shaking? I was just...
Bitch, you know you're lying. You be right there like, bitch, he gonna get a job tomorrow.
I would never. That was my ex with me. But I kept a job though. I never got no money.
It was just not the one he wanted. Anyway.
Shouts out to you, bro.
But my thing is like, how? Like, do you text them? Like, what is your excuse for like breaking it up with them?
I feel like that would be maybe a phone call.
And what do you say? Let me hear.
Like, you know, how you doing? I'm fine. How you doing? I'm okay. You know, just chilling. I just want to talk to you for a minute. You know what I'm saying? I just want to, you know, let you know that I'm not really, you know, I'm not in a place to continue this right now. You know, just
you're not in a place, or they're not in a place.
Exactly. Let's see.
You try to
you know,
make
soften
your
the blow.
fault. And you be like, oh, it's all my fault, so you don't feel so shitty.
You know,
knowing that it's you.
Mm-hmm. Because the last guy I talked to tried to be off some shit like that.
Fuck that.
He was cute though.
Fuck that.
Fuck it. But you know, it was on some. You know, I'll be like, you know, just know, you know, I'm still working on myself. I don't think I'm in that place to, you know, put all that effort into somebody. So you know, thank you for the time we spent. It was cool. We had a good time. But you know, I'm just gonna, you know, fall back a bit, do my thing. You know, you do yours. It was nice talking to you. We can still be friends.
You better than me. I hit that cool block.
I used to ghost people. I used to just ghost you. Like, I just would like stop texting, and then I would just let you figure it out. But niggas are bold these days. Like,
Niggas pull up to the house now.
not my house, girl. Like, I like fuck ghost you. Like, bitch, don't come back here no more. Mm-hmm. But people would literally be like, hi, hello, I know you, like, or call you and not be like, bitch, don't you see I'm trying to ghost you? I've never honestly broken up with anybody. I've literally just like always ghosted them.
I always get dumped. Nobody.
Mean. Meanie.
What?
Ghost.
I mean, girl, you know, yeah, I mean.
I just be like, this ain't gonna work. Sorry to break it to you.
I need to get like that.
I mean, it's the truth. It's the ugly truth.
It's not really ugly.
It's gonna be ugly. It can get ugly. If you want it to get ugly, it can.
You can't.
It can. I just choose not to. This is me being not trying to be ugly.
Right.
Okay, so from red flags to, I feel like these aren't red flags. Having no money, having no drive to go get a job.
Okay, having no drive. Let's do having no drive.
That's a red flag. But
No ambition.
But like things that you pop up and find out about them, like they do more than weed. They got kids.
Well,
Certain things. How do you go from a red flag to like some things that you just I can't, you know, I can't accept that.
well, one of these dudes I was talking to.
Oh, hi, LaKenya.
Hi.
Come on in, girl.
Lay ass.
What do you do at that moment?
Oh, they got to go. It's a wrap. I'm done.
But how did? Okay, so okay. We know it's non-negotiable, but how do you deal with that? Do you call them? Text?
Oh, I get ghost, honey.
Yes. If I someone with me, that's what I said.
I just go south.
Casper ass folk over here.
That's fine.
Oh, we are Capricorns. That
Right.
you know what?
There we go.
That's
What's your Capricorn?
What's your birthday?
You do.
December 22nd.
Oh, okay, you at the beginning. That's why.
I'm a January
Yeah.
Capricorn.
I'm December 28th.
Oh, okay, cool.
December 21st, Sag cut off.
Dang, for real? Stop.
But I have some of y'all in me.
Oh, yeah, because you're on the cusp.
It's too much of y'all. It'd be like, oof, it's a lot of Jesus. Too much.
So you
Never too much, never too much.
so you go to them and then like what do they? My thing is. Like before the last relationship, I started ghosting people. Well, I didn't start. I was doing this since 16. You know.
You must say, yeah.
Bitch, you don't know my life. But what do you do when people don't get the ghost? Like,
Block.
see, I feel bad blocking you.
I don't. Not no more.
You get to a point in life where block is just the ultimate goal.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just like you trying it. No, thank you.
Right.
Or even if y'all haven't talked, it's just I don't want you to get the urge.
I got one I need to block now. Like, sir.
What you doing?
But okay. But don't you think like we owe people to let them know, like you know?
That would be real cute, but
Because the thing is, you know, they're not right for you, but that you have to. The whole point of dating is for you to learn your problems and for you to do better the next time with somebody else. if we're not telling them why we breaking up with them,
They should figure that out.
they don't.
It depends on the person and the type of relationship that we have.
Yes, I was just about to say that.
If it's somebody that really can't handle it, then I'm just gonna be out. Like, but if it's somebody that's somewhat reasonable,
We
we can actually have a decent, a grown conversation.
Yeah, if on some adult shit, then we can have a
It
conversation.
usually goes
about
into that immaturity after that conversation, which is what it is.
If we can start off mature,
Right.
well, we could start off somewhere.
Have you ever broken up with somebody? Besides, I just do the ghost.
I just do the ghost too.
Or I have in the past, I've started an argument.
Really? Start arguments on purpose?
Ooh, you petty, bitch.
Right.
I started arguing.
You are real petty.
Petty.
Bitch,
Why your shoes on the floor like that? Turn them the other way, because I don't like how they sit right there. What the fuck you mad for? Cut this shit like that. I don't like this shit.
I was just reading about that because it's cuffing season, so they was talking about how people trying to get out of cuffing season.
I started an argument. I literally started an argument, and then I just had you pissed off, and then I just can't do this anymore.
I just leave.
Oh my
This is just too
goodness.
much. What are we doing to
Dramatics,
each other?
honey.
Exactly.
And then I just let you figure it out. You come to, a realization that you need to break up with me. It's me. You need to break up with me.
Oh my god.
It's not. I don't need to break up with you. You need to break up with me.
I be in La La Land sometimes. I just be going with the flow. Then I'm like, oh, Brandon, by the way, not feeling this no more. I'm like, what the fuck I do?
Bitch, you was in La La Land.
You know when you be feeling it, you be going with you like, oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and like, cause honestly,
So you got surprised.
so hello, people, it hurt my feelings. Shall I be here?
But does it really help? Does it really catch you by surprise? Like after it's said and done, do you think back and be like, I saw the red flags of where the relationship was coming.
The last situation, yes, because the situation started getting distant. And then at one point, I got this new job, and then I didn't get the new job, and then he was like, eh. And then a few days later, we broke up. And I was just like, I don't think it was a money thing, but then I think it was a money thing. Because then a few months later, he posted on Snapchat with his new nigga. Like, oh, the finer things. And I was like, bitch!
Oh, he tried it. I would have had to respond. Who didn't respond?
Because of Jesus in me.
Oh,
I would have had to report his page as spam.
Okay, I would definitely do that.
My mama told me I would have been on Snap if I was her. Like, she would have been on Snap. When I went through with that last nigga.
What kind of job did he have?
He was a teacher.
Really, my dude.
Girl,
And I got a
he
job
had a
as
master's.
No, I think he's getting it now.
Girl, he was still making cheap pay. He didn't.
You making more than me. I was at Red Robin, Cold Stone. Had shout out to Red Robin.
And you was just making a burger more than you.
Right, talking about the highlight.
Not a burger more.
A burger more.
Well, the new guy, he did something. He was like a manager at a hotel or something.
Wow.
He was making a lot of money. But I was cuter. That's always the case. The nigga he with now, I'm still cuter than him.
Oh, he would have
yeah, I mean, cause like my thing is,
But she a teacher, he got to.
well, the new guy teacher too. I know I'm stalking. I know it's bad.
Brandon, can you block yourself?
Okay.
No, because I know what happened. It was like what had happened was I went to his mama page to check on his mama because his grandma passed away a few months ago. I just want to check on his mom, make sure his mama passed.
sorry, I wouldn't even know.
She loved me. My mama told me because they still talk.
Like Chrissy said off of Instagram, bitch, when I break up with you, I break up with your family too. I don't even know your grandma and your mama. I don't know them.
See,
I killed them all.
I blocked everybody. Like at first I blocked everybody. Mama said, "Oh, his grandma passed away." So I was like, "Okay, well, let me reach out, stay inspiring."
Oh, that's cute.
Because I'm a Christian, we do that.
Oh, okay, so I'm happy.
I mean, clearly y'all have sex in the rec centers too.
Not that one.
Oh, Jesus.
I was reborn. After that.
Yeah.
I found the Lord once again after that. We now on good terms. He understands my struggle. He in my heart, But no, so but I went to stalking on my Facebook, and I saw, oh, thank you to my ex and his new guy for taking us to Savannah.
He took y'all?
He took them.
That's what he said?
I don't know. His mama thanked them.
Bitch,
the whole family. Oh, not me.
Child, I was just trying to put a wool from your eye because it sounded like...
Ain't no wool. I'm clear.
Oh, you sure?
I'm very clear.
So, this is a teacher. I'm so engrossed in this situation.
But so the job I had gotten was at the school.
So that ain't but for 6 hours.
See, this is 3.
Right.
And y'all quick enough.
If y'all quick enough, it could be 2.
2.5.
2.5 and a quarter.
Yeah, Rashad.
Man, well, you just keep stalking this man.
Not no more. I'm done now.
What was the tipping point?
See, when I found out he might have a new boyfriend, my feelings got hurt because I was like, well, why the one who put me through all the shit? That's why I knew I'm out here on the road. Excuse me. I need a nigga. Excuse me. You single. Like, I'm out here struggling, and he out here holding nigga. But like I said, I'm cuter, so, my feelings like that hurt. Okay. But I was just like, why? Why is it always the one who get hurt out here stuck looking like...
Greater is coming, honey. Greater.
Speak it.
Greater is coming.
So back to the question I posed. The question of looking back after you break up with somebody, you get dumped. For those who get dumped.
Yes.
Do you ever think, like, after it's said and done, do you ever go back to be like, damn, I saw red flags?
I'm here from the beginning.
No. We talked about from the beginning red flags that the relationship was going to an end or coming to an end.
Sometimes you don't see it till it's done. You're like, wow, I missed that. Or all your friends told you. Mm-hmm. But then you were like, no, it's okay. He cool. And then once you're over, like, oh, damn. He was crazy. Oh, damn. He was like, you don't ever notice it until you done been through it and you see it afterwards, like, oh, shit. Should have left about 4, 5, 6, 7 months ago. Damn. Oh, yeah.
But for me, it's like I do things without realizing why I'm doing it until afterwards. So when I'm over something, my actions will say that I'm over it, but I won't see it until after the fact. So like the last one, the actions that I was taking, like I was just really uninterested. Like, just really uninterested. And then once I look back, I was like, that's why I was so uninterested, because I had already moved on. I was done.
I was just on playing with you on the phone.
Yeah, I was done. I was already out.
What can we do when we feel this? Like, what do we do in the relationship to see these red flags that, like, this relationship is not good?
Don't be blinded. That's what a lot of us are. By foolishness.
Some people be blinded by sex. I've never been blinded by sex.
Sex, love, money. Some people for security. Mm-hmm. They get caught up with security. Be like, okay, cool. But he cheated on me, but it's okay because my rent paid this month. Stuff like that. Or I love him. I don't care if he lies. I don't care if he cheats. I don't care if he steals. But I love him. Or, that dick was good. He ain't got no job, no car, or nothing.
Crazy.
But that dick is popping. You know what I'm saying? Like we get caught up in these things in our head. So the foolishness is okay. As long as you got that blocker, that wall up.
For me, I realized that I was in hope of. I was like in hope, like this could possibly... He would make a good, or this would be a good, but it really wasn't good at all.
It was nice for them.
I agree.
Yeah.
Most of mine is always, I project a future.
Oh, that's that.
When I start dating people, I realize I have this thing where I will go ahead and plan my life.
Honey.
I'll be like, I can see them fitting in with the kids, So when shit's going bad, it's like I'm thinking not of the shit going bad. I'm thinking, okay, the future though, like where are we trying to be?
Right.
They got these goals. I see them as this person that I can possibly be with,
and I see us as this.
But that may not even be who we are. It's like we need to be thinking about who the fuck we looking at right now. Who the fuck is across from us?
That's why communication is key in all aspects, because you can still you can talk about whatever with somebody, but if your goals and their goals don't connect, your vision, your dream, your future, yo, that's so Raven moment. It's going to crack.
I feel like you're going out here on the vest.
I'm just saying it's real. That's why I'm single now. I ain't got time for that. Yeah. I don't got time for you to have your vision, me to have mine. But you talk about sex. I'm talking about going to lunch. It don't work for me. It's a no for me. Thank you, dog. God bless you.
Question. Because we on the move now. We just gonna skip the whole sex talk and just keep it here. Now, my question is, when you meet somebody and you deep into shit and you have this one vision and they have another vision and it just don't come together, you think about compromise, but how much are you supposed to compromise in a relationship?
I feel like you shouldn't compromise your complete self. There are times you can give leeway, but you can't just be like, okay, I'm just gonna change my whole outlook on everything just to be with you.
That's what I was thinking. Like, you can't turn into a different person. Like, compromise to the point where you're not you.
Like, you
losing
look back.
Yourself.
You look back and you say,
I
did that for you.
Right.
And where are we now? Oh.
Right.
Like, I did that a lot. Girl, like, I didn't have the self love I have now. I love myself more than I ever have in my life before, because in some aspects I still gotta grow.
Grow. Come on,
yes. But it's just like, when you love yourself, you'll say, I can accept that. I can work with that, but I'm not going this far. Because that's changing who I am as a person. Now, if it's going to better me in some way, cool, we can have a conversation. But if it's like, whoa.
And there's a difference between compromise and total disregard. And just totally changing the way you think or your beliefs or how you really feel about something.
That's true.
That's deep. I did.
I'm just getting some knowledge here. I'm just
Gems, honey. Gems.
I'm just soaking it in over here. I'm just like,
when you've been single for a while,
honey, we gotta reflect.
You start to see.
You get out of a relationship.
Yes.
That is I've learned so much about myself in these last 4 weeks that I'm just like, damn.
It's been 4 weeks.
Right.
It feels like it's been so much longer.
It was the 6th of this month.
Of what month?
Of September, so it ain't even been 4 weeks, man. It's been since September. When was Labor Day? Yeah, it was. Wait,
it was not Labor Day.
It was before Labor Day.
It was in August. Y'all was broken up before Labor Day.
It was 26.
Before you went on your little trip. You went on your trip.
It was 26. 1, 2, 3 Saturday be 4 weeks.
Because we had recorded and you had said something, we was like, what?
Right.
Yeah. I'm about to say, it's been a minute now. It ain't been uber long, but geez.
Saturday be 4 weeks.
Lord.
Yeah.
Well, you doing good. Because a nigga like me would still be stuck.
Stuck what?
Just like, what happened? What just happened? Like, just be going through.
Don't like, what did I do?
Right.
I'm not going to say everything. I just feel like when you start to... That's why I want to talk about red flags. When you get out of a relationship... Most people, because we talked about people who jump in and out of relationships. I'm not that person. Like, it take me at least a year or two, before I get anywhere deep to trying to think about somebody else. But you're supposed to reevaluate yourself, and I reevaluate both sides. Like, what did I do wrong, and what did they do wrong, and what did we both do wrong together? So it's like the whole 4 weeks. Every day is like something new that I'm learning about myself. So,
that's good. Y'all still communicate?
We actually texted yesterday. Yeah, we're. And that'll be a topic. Friends with ex. That's where we're.
I don't do that.
That's where. But I will say this: we have not seen each other since we broke up. The day before we broke up. But I texted you today to hang out. I texted him too, but he said he was busy. So, yeah.
I was on the clock. I have a witness. I was on the clock. I don't know what he got going on.
But I mean, it's inevitable. I have to see them in October.
On concert?
Yeah. I mean, he bought tickets separately, so I can't, not
Y'all got separate tickets than, the same.
What's Afropunk?
So, y'all guys, you might not see
you gonna see. You know how when you don't want to see somebody?
That's how it happens. Yeah.
I'm gonna be, Charlie Angel's Tomb Raider.
I'm done with it.
Ducking and dodging, rolling.
Get out. Just get out.
I play no game. I live in Fayetteville. My ex's family lives in Fayetteville. I live in Jonesboro, but Fayetteville, right there. So, every time I go to Kroger, Walmart, Publix, I'm always like, I see anybody, I see mama,
I think for gay people it's different. Because it's like, it ain't like that many places like dark. Like, think about, like, if you want to go somewhere on a Friday night for drinks. If he goes out and I go out, we making pot. If we go out on the same night, 9 times out of 10, we gonna end up at the same place.
That's cute.
Especially with him not being from Atlanta, like he know the places I took him. He's gonna end up going somewhere I've taken him that I like to go myself.
That's why I stay on the south side.
But I don't go out, so we'll see. I don't know.
Who don't go
Was
out?
out this past weekend.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What was I doing this weekend? Oh yeah, I had fun. The funny thing is, I went in there and I examined the room.
I'm telling you, no,
For him and his brother, like this. Okay. Good.
I go to the patio, I'm like, can we sit over here, thing? In the corner so I can see somebody. Oh, here's him. Did he see me?
But I want to have the talk, and I want to see him before Afro. I just don't want it awkward. Like, we literally have not seen each other since the day before the breakup. So I want to get that awkwardness out. Or whatever. Like, I just don't.
Do you think it's gonna be a mature conversation? It's gonna be a grown conversation?
See, that's why I'm like,
enough time has passed to where it can be?
That's why I'm waiting. It'll probably be a week before Afro Pump.
I didn't see my ex until 6 months after we broke up.
I still got an ex that I have not seen. Okay. And that was like 2014.
I don't see mine.
I broke up.
But he's staying one of Robin, so I mean.
Well, who finna see him?
Exactly. He probably dead down there now. So
Lord.
He alive. His
Pray on it.
That's why I'm telling you, you gotta stop searching for them on Instagram because you start thinking like, damn, how the fuck they. When they get in a relationship a month later, that should tell you something. But then you'll be like, how
I was
the
in
fuck?
a whole relationship 2 weeks later. That's not there nor there.
Yeah, but you'll be like, how are they still together when we couldn't even make? You just be like, damn, what they doing right? Like, what the fuck was my problem? But it wasn't you. They just dealing with more shit. They're able to deal with more shit than you are.
Oh no, I dealt with everything. You feel me? But I got to the point where I'm kind of just like, I can't stay stuck on that. Now, when I was scoping, because I'm nosy. Try to get this tea.
I don't be caring what any of my exes be doing.
For a little while.
Just a high moment. You know what I'm saying? Just the peep. Hello.
I don't care.
Okay, cool. Move out. That's it. Like, I'm done with it now. Like, I'm not looking for it. But my friends, I had a cute little kickback for Pride. I invited people. I didn't want to come. Let's try. I had a cute little kickback for Pride.
In Florida.
That's cute. Anywho.
Again, my Stella got her groove back shit.
Okay.
Because that was literally a week after the breakup, so I was like, bitch, I'm on my, I'm living life. Living single.
Oh.
I wasn't doing shit.
So, but I had a little kickback. And so my friend, he works at Yard House, and he said he had saw him with the new guy and the other girl at Yard House. I was like,
They should have gave him all the old food.
Was he fat? Was he fat?
Was he fat?
Was he kind of chocolate? That's that new nigga. He cute. Thank you. I got my confirmation. I'm good. Somebody else agreed. I was done with after that. I was like, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I can't.
Y'all are totally different from me.
What is that?
You been quiet, girl. What's tea?
I don't care. Like, when they move on.
Let's take a break. Let's take a break from these ain't shit ass niggas.
Fuck these niggas, get this money.
Pop pussy for a real nigga.
Okay. On Saturday, September 16th, a Georgia Tech student named Scout Schultz, who identified as transgender, was shot and killed by campus police. According to the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, 911 received a call from Schultz, who reported seeing a white man carrying a weapon and appeared to be intoxicated. However, once on the scene, the officers only saw Schultz, who was carrying a pocket knife with an unextended blade. The 4 officers approached Schultz and asked the student to put down the weapon. Schultz refused to drop the knife and continued to walk towards the officers while shouting, "Shoot me." Schultz was shot by Officer Tyler Beck and was shortly pronounced dead at Grady Memorial Hospital. Schultz's family attorney said that the police overreacted and no one around was at risk. Schultz's mother suggested the police should have used pepper spray or a taser. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation reported that 3 suicide notes were found in Schultz's dorm room, yet still the mother claims that wasn't a suicide by cop. Following a vigil held on September 18th, a group of about 50 protesters turned violent, and 3 people were arrested, which resulted in a police car being set on fire. And an individual was taken to the hospital. Schultz suffered from clinical depression and spent time in counseling after suicide attempts by hanging in 2005.
So,
wow,
that's a lot. Mm-hmm. So, where do we start first?
Well, I would just want to say that according to the article that I read on Yahoo,
Yahoo.
It was saying that, shout out to Yahoo, it was saying that this is something that they wanted.
Who wanted?
Scout. Scout identifies as they.
Yeah, I prefer pronouns
to
as they and them.
So it seems like Scout wanted to die by a cop. Mm-hmm. To me, it's kind of a lazy suicide. Oh, I sound so bad.
I listened to the 911 call before recording, and I won't say the funny part is that I feel like that is like the wrong word to say. But the crazy thing about the audio tape was you can hear the student talking and they sound very calm. Mm-hmm. Like they're not trying to disguise their voice. They're literally talking clearly like they're telling the truth about seeing an intoxicated white man. Mm-hmm. And then it's like they get on the scene, maybe 5 minutes later, and the student's yelling, shoot me. I personally think there was nothing else to be done. Granted, you can sit there and say that the blade wasn't extended or it wasn't sharp or whatever the case may be, but at the same time, it's like, if somebody's walking to you and they're yelling, shoot me, clearly I would take that as this person doesn't care about dying. Granted, I do think that moving forward, we should try to teach police officers, or at least campus police, about how to deal with those situations.
That's the thing, because they do have that program set up, and he hadn't, what's his name, Beck, he hadn't taken it yet, but the other officers there had. So my thing is, why was he allowed to even, not necessarily, he shouldn't have been allowed to be there, but he shouldn't have taken the stance. Yeah. Like, if you have other officers there who are trained to deal with these type of situations, they should have been at the forefront of it, and he should have stepped back and let them handle it so that he can see how it's supposed to be done.
Regardless of whether Schultz wanted to die that way or not, whether that was their goal or not, you should be able to, like the mother said, pepper spray, taser, communication. There are other ways you could have went about detaining.
And that's what they're trained Schultz. To do. They're trained to use other ways of persuasion or whatever to de-escalate these type of situations. It's just that particular officer hadn't been trained yet.
But go ahead.
Let me say this. We've never been in that situation. Granted, it was other cops there. Mm-hmm. You are being a new cop. I think it was kind of the situation where I will say that you was very uneducated about what to do, but at the same time, we wasn't in that moment, so we can't really say you had nothing to be worried about. Maybe he honestly feared for his own life to the point where, as a police officer, you feel like your life is in danger. What is there to do? You want to pull out your gun. And that is the main problem with America now, is that you think your gun is the only way to end the situation when it isn't.
And you've been trained otherwise. That's what gets me. That's not the first thing that you go to. That's not what you're trained to do.
That's the last resort.
Exactly.
That's not the first thing.
Exactly. You've seen people apprehended without being shot. It's been done before. Why is it not being done now?
We were talking earlier, and we were saying things like, if this was Scout's point to be killed by a cop, you're diminishing everything that people are fighting for to get the cops better trained and get things better for people who are dying by cop every day for no reason. People, a lot of our friends, family, cousins, nephews, brothers, everybody out here, sisters, nieces, everybody getting killed by police officers without reason every day. And if you're going out of your way
to make it
to die this way,
selfish.
That's you're a selfish one, and you're diminishing what people are fighting for.
You said it was kind of like a cop out.
It was a lazy suicide.
It was a lazy suicide, and I think that was his. Well, I don't want to think for him or try to say what he was thinking. I'm sorry, they were thinking, but.
Well, let me ask this: are we saying, or are you saying?
I'm saying if this was Scout's mindset,
right?
I'm saying if this was what Scout was necessarily doing, because again, like the article says one thing, I don't know Scout,
right?
I don't know anybody who knows Scout, so I don't know Scout's necessarily. I don't know Scout's mom or nothing. I don't know Scout's mindset. I don't know if that person who called was Scout. You know what I'm saying? So it's just kind of like I can't say where their mindset was, but if that's where they were at the time, what you're doing is pushing a movement backwards.
Well, before we get there, because it seems from what I took from the article and from what I'm hearing is the parents and the lawyer is blaming the cop for the death of their child. But I think
it's the cop's fault.
I think at the same time we should take it back to be like, okay, yeah, you did shoot the student, but at the same time, do we blame you, or do we kind of say moving forward when someone is in this situation, let's figure out a better way to deal with it? Because me personally, I don't, from what I'm hearing and reading, I really wouldn't blame the cop. Because I feel like, from what I'm hearing or reading, the student kind of wanted to provoke a situation. So my thing is, I just feel like everybody's blaming the cop for honestly doing his job, but at the same time, he could have done it a different way.
Yeah. So the cop, we were saying the cop is to blame for the murder. Like, the Scout is dead, period. Whether Scout wanted to be or not, the Scout is dead. The cop killed Scout. And there were other ways the cop could have gone about detaining and getting things situated than shooting them. Period. But if this was Scout's purpose, then I'm sounding like such an ass. But if this was Scout's purpose, then there's blame. There's blame on both sides. Everybody gets blamed. The cop shouldn't have shot Scout. Scout shouldn't try to use the cop to kill themselves. You know, and if you have these issues, you have a parent who got a lawyer for you. Your parents should have got you a therapist. So,
okay, so
shit.
I think he's been there before.
Moving forward,
go back.
Do we teach cops to not only? Oh, this sounds like I'm so pro cops right now, but I'm really not.
I'm about to say All right.
Not yet. Not until I ask this one question.
All right, dark.
But do we now start teaching cops of, okay, when you're on the scene, you need to figure out the person mentally sane? Or because they're already...
That's what the training is for that he had not taken. He had not taken the training, and that's what the training was for, specifically for dealing with these type of situations. Exactly. Someone who is not mentally there all the way.
And it's not even that. Just the fact, did Scout attack? Just saying shoot me doesn't mean it's like I'm running at you. I could be standing still saying shoot me. You know what I'm saying? I could not be any threat to you.
He said the student approached with the knife.
That was not drawn. But it was not, the blade wasn't drawn. Like, but still, like, it ain't like going to the cop. You know what I'm saying? Like, come at me, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm not in laugh. Yo. But it's just kind of like, the cops do have protocol, from what I know, they do have protocol to deal with mentally unstable individuals.
Right.
But, you know,
I think for me, it's just, this comes into the other part of the question or the discussion. I take this situation as there are many black people that have been unarmed, that have been shot, killed, and we have sat there and said, why did you pull out a knife, or, well, why did you pull out a gun and shoot them? Here we are, someone who we believe, because we don't know, wanted to die or provoke a situation, and they were shot because they provoked a situation, and we're making a bigger deal than we are about the people who was unarmed and got shot. So
who's making a bigger deal?
Raising my question. Do you believe that this situation is only as big as it is, or the non-people of color community is more outraged because it is a white person versus a person of color.
Yes.
Because if this was to happen at Georgia State or even the AUC, it would have been that student provoked the situation, and we wouldn't even been talking about it.
Absolutely.
That's true. I believe.
But like, I'm not coming to Scout's defense. I'm not saying, well, Scout got shot. Like, I'm not if this is Scout's mentality, Scout is wrong, and Scout should not have provoked that situation. No matter how, unless in their brain. Cause I'm not clinically depressed. I've had depressed moments in my life. Most people go through a depressed time.
Some form of
depression. That was the way I was trying to word it. I can't speak to that.
I got you.
Thank you, baby. But it's just like, I don't know what Scout went through as a person. Being 21 in college, identifying as trans in a world where anybody on in the acronym of LGBT is looked at with a microscope and judged so harshly. It's only so much your psyche can take if you're on the front line of the abuse of it. By the grace of God, I haven't been through a lot of things because I'm gay. I've been traditional Amish, but it hasn't been a lot.
Was the alliance leader of Georgia Tech.
So that was somebody who was in the forefront of it all. So if anybody was talking about anything in that way, Scout got it. So that could have had a lot to do with where Scout was. But then it was saying in 2005, which as Scout being 21, Scout was like 4. Like you were a child when you tried to kill yourself by hanging. So if Scout has been going through this stuff since 2005, or probably most likely before that, why, as his parents, again, so I'm going to the parents, why haven't you got your child help in some kind of way?
There's only so much you can do.
I mean, yeah, he did get counseling for it. So,
but is that the school counseling? Because they said in the article that you are in the school, you only get 16 counseling days, and then that's it for the year. Yeah. And some people who need that extra help, 16 not gonna do nothing for me.
Right. So you need that outside.
That's that's 4 months, if you're going every week.
You got to wait till the following year for it to start over for you to even get the next.
The next school year, you can't even go. They can't go back the next year. Next school year, you gotta wait. And 16 sessions, unless it's something small like a breakup or like finals or some shit like that stuff, you can go. You can get through with 16 sessions. Clinical depression, schizophrenia, all different other kind of stuff. And I won't say crazy stuff. Other kind of stuff that's out there that you can't solve in a day.
Right.
16 sessions, it's not going to help you. The school should supply free counseling. Period.
Oh yeah.
So that if I'm coming to your institution, I'm paying you an arm, a leg, a foot, and basically I'm giving you my whole body as tuition.
And that's what one of his friends, well, I won't say friends, one of their friends was saying, the president or whoever makes millions of dollars. Why can we not have counseling? Why do we not have these resources available?
I agree. I just feel like first I feel like they need to finish the investigation.
Absolutely.
But I also feel like we don't need to get so stuck on this one situation from the purpose of trying to just place blame on one person. I think we should kind of be proactive and figure out how, moving forward, making sure all campus, especially campus police, for one, because you have underage kids, you have like college students deal with so much more. Well, I wouldn't say more. We deal with a whole different set of problems than people out here in the normal life. I think all of them need to go through a training for this, and then all the police as well too, because you need to be able to determine the first 10 seconds if somebody's mentally sane, like really want to harm you, they're a criminal, versus like they're having a moment and you need to sit there and talk to them. I just feel like I wouldn't place 100% blame on this cop.
No.
With this situation. Granted, there is someone to blame. We can look at like, okay, the officer never took the training, but at the same time, and I guess I keep considering maybe I need to take myself out the equation. If I ran on somebody on the street and I had a gun, bitch, I don't care if you was just sitting there with the knife talking to me, you may get shot. Like, but then again, I'm also not a trained officer. But I just feel like the officer isn't 100% to blame.
No.
I just feel like we moving forward, especially on a campus, we need to decide how do we determine this and how do we move forward. But pointing the blame game as far as like, oh, you need to choose between the pepper spray and taser. I've never been in a situation where I need to think like, okay, do I need to kill this person or do I need to spare their lives and just cripple them to chill? And I feel like with anything, parents, when your child is taken away, and I would never know how that feels because I don't have kids,
Absolutely. But
I will assume when someone has been taken away, the first thing you want to look for is that person to blame.
Absolutely.
And I think that's kind of where the family is going.
I mean, that's the only person to them to blame. You can blame the school for not having the proper people trained. You can blame the police for not training him. Also blaming the specific officer for not going through the training and then taking my child's life. But do you go on the flip side, you can blame Scout for, if, like I said, if this is Scout's mindset, going about it this way. And so, like, let's say it's a jumbled up because, like, I'm not in this situation. We're not in this, so we don't know what's the full story.
Right.
And they found these suicide notes are these recent suicide notes. That wasn't information given to us. We don't know if these were recent. If this was, this is how it was.
Say.
Right.
The friend, the close friend, a friend of a close friend of Scout's was saying this was their plan. Their plan was to die by cop. That was their plan. So it's kind of just like, what's real, what's true, and it's kind of how it sucks that Scout is gone. Period. Another life gone is horrible. I don't want to try to make it this thing, but because of who we are in society, who society is, it becomes a thing. And we have to start nitpicking, is it Scout's fault? Is it Beck's fault? Is it Georgia Tech's fault? Is it the officer's fault? Is it the police's fault? Like, it's just, like you were saying, we shouldn't put blame on specific individuals, but that's how we keep ourselves sane. If somebody has blame, we sleep better at night.
Right.
So I can look at you and say it's your fault, and I can go to bed because I know whose fault it is. So that I feel like hopefully one day we can look at it and be like, okay, these are the facts, and that's it. We don't have facts here. With a lot of the black people who have been taken from us, all the people in our community who have been taken from us, we have facts. They're ignored, but we have the facts. We don't have facts here. We have words. So if we have facts, we'll be able to move forward better. But until we somebody indicted out here, conversation move forward.
I personally just wish if we're considering training for officers now, and I really hate that I'm using this situation to tie. It's kind of like we was talking about the Black Lives Matter, and then it's like all lives matter. I'm using this as an example of if we're going to really sit here and start pointing out what officers are doing wrong when it happens to someone that's not of color. Y'all need to start applying that to the other situation.
Just everybody.
Nobody was pointing none of this out, investigating like, well, did they have the training? Did they have this? Until it was somebody that mattered to your community. So for me, it's like I'm outraged that this happened because I started to think like if this was on my campus or someone that I knew had a moment where they felt like this, how would the situation be? But also it's like with my own personal community of people that I'm affected by every day, I'm like, this happens every day. And they didn't have no weapon. and nobody's setting cars on fire. No one's even able to even riot the fact like
right.
this.
That's why I was going with it. It's like y'all set a police car on fire.
Like it didn't set up. It burnt up.
You were arrested, not killed. You were arrested.
Exactly. So I hate to be like that, but it's like honestly,
it's real.
I can't sit here and fight for this when this has already been happening to my people. Granted, I'm concerned, added to my list of other concerns, but I can see how this happened versus other things happening, just for me.
My fight is for what's right. What's right is my fight. If it was honestly, and the thing with this wouldn't be as big of a conversation if it was a black trans woman, a black trans man, a black trans individual. It wouldn't have been this conversation. It would just be another black trans person is dead.
Correct. And
we would have moved on the next topic. And plus, black trans people don't get coverage, period. Let's just talk about that, right? Just real quick, hello, how you doing? Why is it that because Scout was white, Scout got all this media, all this press, all this attention? But when we've had several black trans women, black people, all the people have died under the radar, and nobody knows. We got to put it out on social media, on Instagram, on Facebook, for even us to find out. Yeah. Because I don't know. There was a trans woman a while ago. Erica. I feel like her name was Erica.
There was a trans man, and no.
I didn't even know that.
I do want people to understand that I'm not doing the whole White Lives Matter thing. I'm not taking shine from this. I'm just saying we need to wake up and realize this isn't new.
Everybody needs press. Not saying press like, but like everybody needs to know. We need to know the facts. Because these are people in our communities. I am a part of the acronym of LGBTQIQ, elemental P, Q, R, S, T, U, W, X, Y, and Z. No shade, but because the letters go on for days. But I'm a part of I should know, and I'm also a black man. I should know what's going on in my community, as should everybody else. Whether you're straight, gay, black, white, Asian, Chinese, Vietnamese, whatever, all them Asians I just listed. I'm sorry, Lord, but if I should know what's going on in my community so that I can be more aware of what's happening to my people, so that I can get myself better prepared for the next day and what's going on in my life. Sorry, I got a little passionate.
Yeah, we all did.
Jesus.
I just personally, my thoughts and prayers go out to the family.
Yes, absolutely.
I can't even imagine the things that they're going through, or even the students' friends, on the people who knew them well. So, yeah, over everything, I don't want to be rude to them. This was a death of a human being over everything. Right. So, at the end of the day, I'm saddened by that. And I just hope moving forward that we, as a community of Atlanta, for one, would figure out a better way to deal with killing each other and making that the last option for officers.
Absolutely.
You have anything else to say?
Let's just pray for our strength as a community. And that's it. Also send out prayers and love to Puerto Rico, the Caribbean, and Mexico. Send out prayers to all of y'all.
And y'all president.
Y'all.
Mr. Trump swear that this bitch, we've been having hurricane season for years. We ain't never had this many. I only know goddamn one. Sandy and Katrina. I don't know Maria, Jose,
Quavo,
Ira, Irene. It was a bitch before that one. Bitch.
It was Harvey. So far, the Harvey, Irma, Katia. Don't forget Katia.
Yes, Katia.
Katia was over there by in the Gulf Coast. No, Katia was in the Gulf Coast. You had Jose right after Irma, and then you got Maria fucking up all of Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico is destroyed.
Damn.
Like, gone.
And people, we don't realize that, like, maybe since there's something we doing, like, maybe we need to get out these cars and get a hybrid or a bike.
And then on top of all that, Mexico just had 2 earthquakes in a matter of 2 weeks.
Did y'all see the video?
there's a school, kids have died because the earthquake hit the school.
No, not like taken away from that shine. Puerto Rico said it's gonna take them months to get power.
Yeah.
100% of the whole
Yes,
is
destroyed.
gone. They have no power.
They have nothing. Nothing is there.
And I'm just like, we're at the end of September, and shit's still jumping off. Like, then I heard the new one. Is it Marie? It's not Marie. It's a new one that they're sitting like we can't predict where it's going to go. It's just here. And I'm just like,
okay.
But anyway, pray for
I'm
us,
just sending
this world.
prayers and love out to everybody because I just can't.
Yeah. Well, guys, so we're now on Stitcher Radio. Moving up. I think that's it. Like, I feel like we're on TuneIn, SoundCloud, Google Play Music, iTunes.
Sweetie sister, Spotify, honey.
Spotify is real, like, bougie. Like, they select people, like, oh, bitch, we want you. Like, you know, they're like the mean girls.
Selective, honey.
I got a friend who works for Spotify. I'm gonna get her out.
But yeah, once we get on,
That's what you talking about.
like, that's it. Right. But yeah, but we cool. We getting up there. So yeah, if you like this show, please make sure you share it with your friends.
Absolutely.
Every share counts.
Yeah.
Black Lives Matter. Black Podcasts Matter. Yeah.
I'm proud of y'all. Y'all didn't talk about sex.
I mean, yeah.
We did a little bit.
We don't cut. I didn't really like this.
Yeah, we don't.
Anybody have any announcements? Anything to add?
I have a drag show coming up October 12th at 10 p.m. It's gonna be lit.
Where is it at?
It's at Mammal Gallery.
I love that place.
Oh,
it used to be. It used to, whatever the address for that club. I was starting and bopping back in the day when that club was.
We know what I'm saying.
I walk in and immediately just start twerking for my life. But
Lord. But yes, it's gonna be at Mammal Gallery, 10 p.m. It's $5 to get in. There's also gonna be it's a charity thing too, so you're gonna get a little more. If you want to give a little more, you can. It'd be great. Make sure you bring money to tip. Santana Manhattan, come through. Thank you.
What day of the week is it?
It's on Thursday.
Okay.
Yeah, so it'd be good. Y'all can film and then come on. I'll record and come on over. Yes, Santana Manhattan. Mammal Gallery drag show.
That Fenty Beauty on.
I'm finna get me some, you feel me?
Fenty
Yes,
Beauty.
Fenty Beauty. Yes, Trophy Wife. Thank you, Brianna. Love you, girl.
Me and Danny been communicating back and forth because I want her to do like something for Afropunk. I don't know. I'm gonna see if she can do some Fenty Beauty so I can stun on these hoes.
And that foundation is so beautiful.
I heard you gotta go to like. Everything's not sold out, but it's like certain things you have to go to different Sephora's or different stores to find.
I need to conceal.
Have you tried it?
I need to go. No.
We can take a field trip.
I'm trying. I was trying to go today, but I didn't want to be late. No, we can't. I thought about Linda's clothes or what? No.
Oh yeah. I forgot about that.
Who's driving the Linda's? My car is all motherfucking
Right, I'm like, when is the light gonna come on in my car?
I just feel storm up, but Anyway,
okay.
This episode of Panel ATL is edited by Marcel Eadon. If you're looking for a dope audio engineer, you can find his contact information in the description section of this episode and all episodes. And that's it. Thank you for kind of sitting in a little bit. I don't know.